There are some cute ones that act like they just don't have a care in the world. Lazily lounging on their backs, sunbathing in the cool ocean, or joyfully leaping into the air and plunging back into the waves. Some enjoy splashing around with their babies, or just doing some quality cuddling. Others simply like clowning around. These are the adorable creatures who prefer the life aquatic. And they also seem to spend all of their time with big, sweet smiles on their faces. These are the cute ones of the sea. When you see sea otters happily horsing around in the ocean, it sure seems like these lovable, fun, and furry cute ones really know how to relax. But life is much harder for sea otters than it first appears. They live along some of the most rugged and dangerous shorelines that nature can dish out. These are places of extreme conditions, where humans are warned to stay out of the water. Here, violent storms produce high tides that slam against the rocky coast. And yet, this is where sea otters live and have learned how to survive where a lot of other animals say no thank you. You'd think an animal who lives in such difficult surroundings would be rough and tough, but oh no, not the sea otter. They're just about the most endearing, adorable mammal in the sea. Tough on the inside, but oh so lovable on the outside. They almost make your heart stop beating, they're so precious. This is a tough environment to raise a young one, and even when the pup gets quite big, they still stay attached to their mother. Dad sea otters play no part in parenting, so mom is left to handle her kids, quite literally, on her own. Otters give birth to just one pup at a time, and that's a good thing. When you're toting around your kid on your back in sometimes treacherous waters, surviving is hard enough. And caring for more than one baby would be nearly impossible. Sea otter moms are very finicky when it comes to bath time. They want their pups looking bright and shiny all the time, and keeping baby groomed is one of Mother Otter's most important jobs. Clean coats help keep sea otters waterproof and insulated against the chilly sea. Otters also have an extra layer of fur under their coats that traps air to form another layer of insulation. Without all this luxurious fur, these otter babies would not survive in these waters. But with so many layers, it's toasty and comfy cozy all the time. Otter moms care for their pups while floating on their backs, making a warm bed for baby. Looks like a pretty cushy life for these kids. And these are some very dedicated mamas. Soon, it's time to go shopping for her own dinner, and mom needs to leave the pup on the surface without a babysitter. Luckily, otters are strong swimmers, and the hunting trip is lightning fast. The ocean water is quite cold, and otters burn a lot of calories keeping warm. They need to eat about a quarter of their own weight in food daily, just to maintain their body temperature. That's the equivalent of your mom or dad eating 20 kilos of fish every day. Mothers turn some of what they eat into milk for their babies. The milk is rich with fat, so that helps babies stay warm too. Sea otter pups drink their mother's milk for about 6 months before they start to eat more solid food. That's almost the same as a human baby. Don't you wish you could snack on your back the way the sea otters do? When it's time to switch to solid food, the pup still depends on mom to do the shopping. The baby eats whatever mom brings home, so you could say that sea otter pups don't have the luxury of being picky eaters. Sea otters enjoy a wide variety of fish on their menus. The choices vary depending on what time of year it is. This little guy has found a school of sardines. And this one has scored some fresh octopus. This clever otter goes for a crab. But that hard shell makes it difficult to extract the tasty meat. But he's crafty enough to use the shell from one part as a hammer to crack open the rest. Now this one has figured out how to get through the spines of a sea urchin to get at the creamy insides. And this clever girl is working at seeing what tasty morsel might be frozen inside this cube of ice. After about 6 months, the baby sea otter is ready to leave the nest and explore the ocean on its own. But mom doesn't need to feel lonely. It's time to frolic some more and raise another pup. Just one at a time. Far away from the chilly oceanfront homes of the sea otter, out in the warm tropical waters of the Pacific, lives one of the cutest and most intelligent creatures on the planet. Amazing, adorable dolphins. This group is from the bottlenose family, the most common variety of dolphin. They're the ones that actually know how to smile, which makes them a huge hit with eco-tourists and a popular attraction at aquariums. Dolphins have unparalleled eyesight that allows them to navigate swiftly across the ocean floor. And on top of that, they also possess a natural form of sonar called echolocation. A clicking sound beams out from the dolphin's forehead, and the returning echo allows them to gather detailed information about the shape, size, speed, distance, and location of objects in the water. This biosonar even forms an elaborate 3D image of the ocean landscape inside their brains. Look at this newborn dolphin taking his first swim in his big blue ocean home. The baby, called a calf, still has stretch marks across his body from the time he was folded in his mom's womb. At this point, dolphin mom and calf are inseparable, rarely straying more than a few inches from each other. Dolphins are mammals, so they need to breathe air into their lungs, just like we humans do. They breathe through one giant nostril on top of their head called a blowhole. After each breath, strong muscles tightly seal the hole so water doesn't rush into their lungs. Dolphins can't breathe underwater like fish, so every time they dive, they are holding their breath. Mom is able to stay underwater for 15 minutes at a time, but the baby needs to breathe every 2 minutes. So for the first few weeks after the baby is born, mother and son stay close to the surface. Bottlenose dolphins communicate with each other with bursts of sound and whistles, as well as their body language like leaping, snapping jaws, butting heads, and slapping their tails on the surface. Each dolphin has their own unique whistle that helps them identify each other. The baby dolphin gradually remembers the whistle of each dolphin around him, and soon recognizes his own family. When you have the whole ocean for a playground, it's easy to see why dolphins love to leap and dive in the waves. They even like to do a little body surfing now and then. What a carefree life they seem to have. Dolphins are amazing jumpers, able to joyfully leap 6 meters into the air. They're also very fast swimmers, usually swimming around 5 to 6 kilometers per hour. But when they're hunting for prey, they can sprint at over 32 kilometers per hour. They can also cover vast distances. Some dolphins, such as so-called spinner dolphins, can travel up to 400 kilometers in a single day. That's like running 2 ultramarathons back to back. We call them spinner dolphins because, well, just look at them jumping. They use their tail as a propeller for their acrobatic spinning leaps. Are you wondering if they get dizzy? Being such carefree animals, dolphins, like humans, live their own lives and don't necessarily stay with their family their whole life. But they do, like humans, keep in touch with each other from time to time. Literally stay in touch. Dolphins love to make skin-to-skin contact. It's just like the way we like to cuddle people we're close to. Now isn't that about as cute as it gets? This kind of cuddling starts when the calves are newborns and they stay in close contact with their mother for the first 2 years of life. And what are the male dolphins doing? Well, they mostly live the bachelor life. Sometimes they like to be loners, and sometimes they travel in small groups with other single guys. If they run into their female friends, they may recognize them and even make a little contact, but then they move on. The dolphin's neighborhood is full of all kinds of fish and other aquatic animals. This strange-looking critter looks more like a UFO than a sea creature. It's a humongous swimming pancake called a stingray. Stingrays uncover prey by blowing water out through their mouth and flapping their wings over the sand. Other species of fish are known to follow the stingrays as they feed because they stir up extra bits of food as they go. The dolphins are curious by nature, so naturally they take an interest in the underwater convoy. Mom teaches baby to avoid the stingray's tail, which is covered in sharp and venomous barbs. It's okay to be curious, she seems to be telling her cute one, but always at a safe distance. Dolphin moms and calves sometimes hang out together in family groups called pods. So if some of the kids want to learn about stingrays, then everyone is going to go along for the ride. For the moms, it's a chance to take the kids to school. School of fish, that is. Rays can actually detect electrical impulses from other animals. That's how they pick good hunting spots in the sand. While the small fish continue swimming along in the hopes of some scraps of food, the dolphins realize what's going on and know they don't need to follow anymore. But mom and baby will return to the spot picked out by the stingray to find their own dinner. Mom uses her sonar to penetrate the sand and determine the location, size, and even type of prey that can become her meal. Concentrated sonar blasts from their forehead can even stun the unsuspecting fish. The baby now has been holding his breath for a record-breaking 3.5 minutes. It's time for both to come up for air, and also time to enjoy some mother's milk. Before long, mom will train her young one on how to hunt. Different areas and sea life require different techniques, so there's lots to learn. In shallow waters, the hunting technique unique to dolphins is to stir up the mud from the bottom and then form a circle, trapping the unsuspecting fish. The prey tries to leap out of the water to escape, but the clever dolphins are waiting for just that. And the meal essentially jumps right into their mouths. Isn't that amazing? The intelligent bottlenose dolphins enjoy a good stable life, and in most places they are not an endangered animal. It looks like that cute smile is here to stay. In the colder waters of the Pacific Northwest, bottlenose dolphins have a larger-than-life cousin called the orca. Orcas are sometimes mistaken for whales, but they are actually dolphins, the largest dolphins in the world. Male orcas grow to about 6 to 8 meters long and weigh in at an astounding 5,400 kilos. Females aren't much smaller. While other dolphins tend to move away from their families when they grow up, orcas have a very close-knit family, and they'll travel with their parents, grandparents, siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins for life. Their group is led by the eldest female, but unlike their cousin dolphins, the males stay close as well. Orcas seem very cute at first glance, with those fun, bold markings and that good-natured smile. But this animal has more than earned another moniker. They are called killer whales for a reason. They prey on a large variety of fish and maritime mammals, including other dolphins. They have sharp teeth and can be extremely aggressive when going after food. And they are an apex predator. That means nothing preys on them. The way a particular family hunts and what they like to eat depends on what part of the ocean they call home, and also the style of the family leader. Every orca family has a slightly different way of getting their food. These particular orcas prefer medium-sized fish, like salmon and halibut. Style is bold and brash. There's nothing stealthy about these guys. In fact, these orcas make as much noise as possible, even slapping their enormous 2-meter-wide tails into the water. All this commotion and chaos disorients the fish, and the shockwave created by the tail can even stun them. The killer whale charges in and knocks the fish out, making them very easy prey. In this group, each orca devours about 50 fish a day, and they make certain none of their family goes hungry either. One of the orca's favorite meals is a snout full of Dall's porpoise. Found only in the North Pacific, Dalls are extremely swift swimmers. They are some of the fastest aquanauts in the sea, able to top 55 kilometers an hour. They could even swim faster, but at higher speeds, the rushing water actually becomes painful. Killer whales find the fast-moving pods of Dalls using a technique called spy hopping. It's a kind of aerial reconnaissance where they pop out of the water and survey the surface for signs of disturbance. In the chase for the dolls, the killer whale's endurance can be tested chasing the speedy porpoises. Sometimes they'll give up and choose a more vulnerable prey. Strangely, within the killer whale communities, the families that hunt mammals never interact with the families that hunt fish. So many of the habits and behaviors can be drastically different from each other. They even use their own unique calls and dialects. A large, healthy group of sea lions has come on shore to rest and breed. It's just where one family of orcas want them, because they use a strange and alarming shoreline fishing technique. They actually rush headlong onto the beach, hoping to catch a slow-moving sea lion in their powerful jaws. It's risky business for the orcas. If they miscalculate their speed, they can easily be stranded on the beach. This male orca almost gets beached. He has to wriggle inch by inch sideways, hoping the surf will help carry him back out to sea. The killer whale is determined, his survival instincts kicking in like mad as he uses every ounce of his strength to make it out alive. It's remarkable behavior for this gigantic cute one. And now that the orca is gone, we can really enjoy how adorable and precious these sea lions are up close and personal. Now these dudes sure do know how to relax. Look at how cute they are. Just like little dolls. Of all the cute ones in the animal kingdom, these precious pups have some of the cutest faces and definitely the goofiest walks you've ever seen. Sea lions, seals, and walruses are all members of a group of animals called pinnipeds, which means their feet are flippers, and their flippers are feet. They join the other marine mammals we've met today to get our award for the cutest, cuddliest, and silliest animals from the sea. Here's hoping they are free to frolic and have fun forever.